UNC-ECU?
R.
Do you bleed purple and gold? Are you ready to hoist the colors?
Hoist the colors!
It's time for the most in-depth look into the world of ECU athletics. Welcome to Hoist the Colors with your host, Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game. Watch the show live on Facebook and at 943thegame.com. Here's Stephen Igo.
Welcome in. It is Hoist the Colors on a Friday. Big Friday ahead of a huge series in college baseball, one of the most anticipated series across the country, definitely here regionally. East Carolina, North Carolina going at it in a 3-game traveling series beginning in Greenville tonight. It'll be a 5 o'clock first pitch, Clark LeClaire Stadium. We got a fun show ahead, a packed studio, so packed that we've got 2 separate tables, 3 video cameras going. Let's introduce the cast right off the top. We are live on YouTube, Facebook, X. If you got a question, comment, concern, drop it in the chat. We've got our usual Friday guest to my right. He is Bobby Harward. Bobby, you even got a shout out on X today from a burner account, so that officially means you've made it.
I have officially made it. Being on the ECU burnerverse, that's never happened before. And it kind of caught me off guard, but I made it. So I guess, I have to come back and continue to come back if that's the case.
By the way, Sup Dogs sponsoring Bobby's appearance today, and you said it best, the Sup Dogs series.
Yeah, the Sup Dogs series. We, my family, my kids crush their hot dogs. My wife and I love their Orange Crushes. Brett does so much. Everybody knows Greenville is the real Sup Dogs, but
absolutely,
it's still the Sup Dog series.
Who's Brett pulling for today, you guys think?
Oh, 100% the Pirates.
The Pirates.
Yeah.
This man sits baseline at ECU basketball games consistently, so he's got to be pulling for the Pirates.
Yeah.
Brett. All right, that is Philip Pilkington, by the way, rocking his Team USA jersey. The women win gold. The men in the semifinals today. Can the men pull it off too, Philip?
I don't know. It would help if they didn't have to play the Canadians in the gold medal game. That'd be huge. Finland up 2-1 right now in Canada. Canada just scored a power play goal to cut that deficit in half. 4 minutes to play in the second period. So we'll see.
All right, maybe more on that later. At the big table today, we got 2 of Carolina Curveball's finest. We'll start with Kaysen Romeli. You guys know him well, former Hoist the Colors intern, regular on the HTC programming. Kaysen, welcome in. It's a little weird to see you over there, man, but how's it going?
It is very weird to be right here. Excuse me. Last time I was here in the studio was the watch along.
That's right.
This past season, I think it was against Charlotte, correct? And it was spoiled for us by a scream over there, so we were unable to really celebrate it because me and you have that classic clip of looking at each other.
We could hear it ahead of time.
Really good moment, but it's good to be here, ready for some great baseball tonight, and good to bring my good buddy Braxton from Carolina Curveball.
We've got Braxton Bodorf in. He's the only one here who actually played college baseball, so he actually knows what he's talking about. Braxton's going to be able to bring some good insight on the Tar Heels because he follows them closely. And you guys, by the way, official first time covering a game as Carolina Curveball staff members. You excited about that, Braxton?
Yeah, definitely excited to be here and get the credentials thanks to this guy and your help as well, Stephen. But, just really excited about this series. And, like you said, I come from a college baseball background. So just what we've been doing at Curveball, it's been awesome. And just real excited to see what we got today.
See, what Stephen didn't tell y'all is he's flipping the script, and it's actually going to be Carolina Hardwood, and we're talking about ECU Pirate basketball.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, when is the Carolina Hardwood? Are y'all going to branch out from Curveball and go to basketball down the road?
It's definitely a big possibility. I'll say that if Kevin Keats comes to Greenville and coaches ECU, there will be Carolina Hardwood.
Speaking of, ECU Charlotte tomorrow, the real rivalry game in college basketball.
You know, it's so funny you say that, and this is very bad. This is how bad I'm checked out. Brady Thomas, former intern, shout out Brady Thomas, he texted me 2 days ago and says, I'm covering basketball for HTC on Saturday. And I said, what are you talking about? Because I totally forgot ECU is going to Charlotte this week because my mind's so on college baseball. But, hey, phenomenal game the other night. Jordan Riley, 40 points, off 40 shots, but still very impressive.
Somebody's got to shoot it.
Yeah, for real.
Somebody's got to score. All right, so ECU, North Carolina, the series, gentlemen. Before we dive into some of the matchups maybe in our next segment, let's kind of just go around the horn here. Atmosphere-wise, what we're expecting. We know it's a sold-out crowd tonight. Again, if you're unfamiliar with how this series works, I think it's an awesome idea. It is a lot of logistical problems for the staffs, but Tonight is in Greenville. Tomorrow is at Durham Bull Stadium, obviously in Durham. And then you've got Sunday scheduled for Chapel Hill. The weather looking a little sketchy for later in the weekend, so we'll see how that pans out. But tonight in Greenville, we know it's going to be a sellout crowd. And I don't know exactly what that number means. I was talking to some sources. You got all the construction going on, so like there's really where the construction is, there wasn't really that much standing room. People couldn't really see the field from that area anyways. But at the same time, I do wonder if that maybe limits the amount of people they can let in the jungle. But I've told they're going to push the limits as much as they can. The weather, phenomenal as far as temperature for February 20th. It is windy. You've got a slight chance of rain this afternoon. Bobby, you are going as a fan, and so we'll get your take first. What are you expecting to see tonight, Clark or Claire, from an atmosphere standpoint?
I think we know what the jungle's going to be. I think that's kind of like a given. And for the record, I know they had posted they were sold out, but the other day I went on there and it was allowing me to purchase jungle seats. So if anybody wants to try that out and see if that's still available, if they're looking for tickets, you can rather than going to like Ticketmaster or something. My biggest question, Scott Lorbacher mentions it all the time on Bucks on the Pond. Those purple seats and those stadium seats better be filled, especially for this game. Like, I will be irate if those are empty and have empty seats there and people are just not using them and holding on to them, especially such a big series and so many diehard Pirate fans trying to get tickets to this game.
Yeah, I just know there's going to be
I know, you're right.
seats.
And I'm going to be irate sitting in the stands and just losing my mind, but I'll have a hot dog and a Pirate brew or whatever they're selling beverage-wise.
Well, I will say this. There will be some empty seats due to there's a lot of people that like to stand on the concourse. And I do understand the nervous standing. So if you count the same amount of people on the concourse, if there's that many empty seats, cool. If there's anything more than that, you should have your Pirate Club membership revoked.
There is a lot of nervous standing. You can usually find, if you want to find the players' parents, they're usually walking around the concourse. Now, they're usually more easily identifiable in a non-packed game, but, you know, I guarantee you'll see Ethan Norby's dad up there today, although he's fairly chill when his son's pitching compared to some. But I talked to him at the Xavier series, and I think he'll be doing some walking.
That makes sense. I mean,
If my son was pitching, I'd be freaking out too. Let's be honest.
For sure. It's the other fans can't be having the rest of the roster so uptight, which we've kind of seen as well. So hopefully they'll be rowdy and loud.
All right, Kaysen, you will be covering the game along with Braxton on the go. And to be honest, look, I mean, when you covered ECU baseball alongside me with Hoist the Colors, ECU had an elite home field advantage, and like you could just feel it. And last year that got away from them against Xavier. I felt like it wasn't really capitalized on as well. So I'm looking forward to, does that return tonight, or does ECU play more tense? Like, I mean, in reality, ECU is the underdog in the series. They should play free, but I just feel like we have not seen that same level of play at home.
I also don't think we've seen it because they have not gave the fans the opportunity to get in the game. And I think me and Braxton were discussing on the drive up here of how ECU can really take control of this game if they score early, get the crowd in it, and just really take control of that game, get the crowd in it. And every time Norby goes off the mound after strikeout, he loves to pump the crowd up. That needs to happen in the first, second, or third inning, get them up, and just kind of just sustain the momentum, because there were times this weekend versus Xavier, they would do something and then Xavier would respond. And then even when Xavier does respond, the crowd would still not be in it. So when Carolina does respond tonight, it's not a matter of if, it's when. They need to stay in it. And I want to touch on Bobby and Scott's point of please fill the purple seats. I mean, they have to, just we talk about it for the basketball games too, those nice purple seats behind the benches. When they're empty, it just doesn't look good. I just want to make sure behind home plate they're empty. If they're empty on the sides on third and first base, that's okay. Let's just make sure behind home looks full.
And if you're sitting behind home, actually make some movements. Like Scott Lorbacher said last week, the people behind home for the Xavier series were frozen in place, like they weren't even moving. So we'll see if they get more into the game tonight. All right, Braxton, how about from your perspective? Look, North Carolina, they obviously play in some tough environments. This will be their first road game of this season, but with the Carroll on the mound, he's a junior. I don't expect him to be spooked or anything, but just maybe some of the new guys in the lineup, maybe if they go to some of the bullpen arms, which I do expect them to go to more of the experienced guys, but just handling this environment from the road perspective.
Yeah, no doubt. I think, like you mentioned, a lot of new faces in that Carolina lineup who haven't played in this series or this game before, so that'll be interesting to see how they cope with that. Obviously, I've been to a UNC-ECU game in the jungle, and it's loud, it's it's one of the best environments in baseball. So I'm looking forward to experiencing that again, whether we're down there on the concourse or whatever. But I'm also looking forward to tomorrow in Durham. I thought that last year was a great environment. It was roughly mostly Pirate fans, I would say, last year, and it was really good energy in that ballpark last year, and then even Boshamer too. But from a road perspective, I think Carolina just needs to come here and trust what they got on the mound. And obviously the offense has been a little bit slow to start, but I think that if you can, like Kaysen said, ECU's key I think is to get on the board early. I think that's also the key for Carolina going the other way, is to kind of take the energy out of the crowd early and get it going your way, and they should have success.
Yeah, I think ECU has really scored only once early in a game this year. That was the final game of the Xavier series where they actually took an early lead and rolled from there. They had to come back against Northern Illinois. They staked Campbell an early run with some errors, and we'll see how that goes over the weekend. Yeah, Durham, I got a text yesterday from somebody who says, I was texted last night, this would have been Wednesday night, that 4,000 tickets have been sold by DPAP for Saturday game. And last year was 6,600. Now, I would anticipate there to be a pretty good walk-up crowd for that game. DBAP, I mean, especially with the weather being what it is, guys. So I think you'll probably have maybe between 5,000 6,000, maybe not as many as last year. And I wonder if some of that is due to the poor start ECU has gotten off to and the fact that they're coming off kind of a down year. And I don't know. North Carolina typically brings a solid crowd, but kind of like Braxton was saying, last year was probably 60, 70% ECU fans maybe. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what the crowd is tomorrow. You also have ECU women's basketball in a huge game at 1. ECU basketball playing Charlotte on the road. Does Carolina basketball play tomorrow? Do we know?
Yeah, they're at Syracuse.
Yeah, so you got that going on too. I don't know. But I think either way, it'll be a good crowd. 5,000 people for a college baseball game is still good.
Oh, absolutely.
So, what are you expecting there? Have you been to DBAP before for ECU?
Not for ECU game, no. I'm just kind of shocked if people go to the ECU basketball game over this baseball game. But
hey, man, it's the biggest rivalry in sports, and
that's
true.
ECU
women's basketball is playing for a championship potentially.
That's a big one. That one I can get behind. The game in Charlotte, if there are Charlotteans, that makes sense to go support the boys. But I am excited. I was kind of surprised, and it makes sense. Because I bought the tickets for tomorrow this morning. I didn't realize they don't open up, I guess, the outfield for this game. But
oh, really?
Yeah, it looked like the outfield was off limits, at least from purchasing tickets, unless they're all sold out. But it does seem like there's going to be a pretty big Pirate contingent there, because a lot of my friends are sitting on the third base side. We got tickets on the first base side, so we'll see how it goes.
They better at least allow walk-ups to purchase outfield tickets.
You would think so. I mean, at least until they sell out the. I guess if they sell out the infield, they'd have to. I mean,
you would think. The tough thing is that if they don't have ushers out there, they're not going to do it. But I mean, they're going to. They should. I mean, you said last year it was 6,700.
Yeah.
I wonder how many seats there are in the infield. I mean, obviously, none of us knows the capacity off the top of our head, but I would guess that would mean there was some outfield seating being used. I mean, it's not a massive ballpark.
I was hoping for outfield seats just for the sake my son's going, and we're going with a friend that's bringing 2 boys his age. Like, I just wanted them to run down the hill and play there so we could actually watch the game. But maybe it will be open, or maybe those seats were already sold and packed out. Maybe Jungle people just wanted to be in their natural environment in the outfield.
Yeah, we'll see what it looks like tomorrow. And, the coolest spot to watch a game in that stadium is the Tobacco Road Pavilion over the wall. But, I assume you got to have some sort of seating there or special, access tickets there to watch that. But it should be a fun environment either way. Always cool, and I'm glad they're doing it in Durham again. I know there was the one year in Fayetteville, which I like Sacred Stadium a lot, but the DBAP is just a cool spot. So
do we think Wilson will be a future spot with the new Wilson? I was just about to ask that.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense from a dead in between, type of deal. Chapel Hill, Greenville, but I've been told, I think Forbes and Goblin like doing it in Durham just because of the nostalgia of the stadium. But with that being a newer option, maybe it's talked about down the line. But I've heard they want to keep it in Durham, and the Durham Bulls want it as well.
It makes sense with them playing the next day in Chapel Hill. I mean, it's right there. So
something to consider for sure. All right, let's get our first break in. When we come back, we'll dive more into the matchups. The pitching, man, look, as a baseball fan, I'm just super thrilled to see the pitching matchups. I think the starters are high caliber, Both teams have high-caliber bullpen arms as well. We'll discuss some of the matchups, key players, keys to victory, all that sort of stuff on the other side. This is Hoist the Colors.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro-adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Healthwise Pharmacy rounds the bases with all of your infusion, retail, compounding, and medical equipment needs. Locally owned and operated by pharmacist Marcy Parker, Healthwise has grown to be your most trusted provider for infusion services. Currently providing in-home or on-site infusions in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. Visit Healthwise Pharmacy at 615B South Memorial Drive or call 252-295-0059 to speak to a patient service representative to find the option that best suits your needs.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers does real burgers better than anybody. And don't forget about the cheese sticks, fresh salads, and more. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, burgers and sports at its best.
Go Pirates! Arg!
In this age of globalization, we've learned that bigger isn't always better. Ever tried to get phone help from a big corporation from a real person? Right. That's what's so nice about Phelps Chevrolet. After more than 50 years serving our community, Phelps remains family-owned and operated. Mike, Daryl, Wave, West, Alan, and Clay deliver hometown service and integrity, same as always. They share your experience, they share your values, and they are ready to help with any motoring need. Come get you one.
Daughtridge Gas and Oil has been your dependable propane supplier for 95 years. Their trained technicians can service and properly install all your propane and natural gas appliances. Plus, Daughtridge Gas and Oil is your backyard expert with fire pits, grills, smokers, and more, including quality outdoor furniture at their Greenville Patio and Hearth Shop at 1901 Charles Boulevard. Go by and see the knowledgeable staff at Daughtridge Gas and Oil for propane delivery or call 756-1345.
You have a choice when you invest in insurance, and when you choose First State Insurance Advisors, you're working with people you can trust. Clark Stallings has deep ties in the community. His team, including Keaton Smith, Regina Asby, Phil Leyva, Max Joyner Jr., Max Joyner III, and Ginger Smith, provides knowledgeable and professional advice. First State Insurance Advisors is an independent insurance agency. They offer all types of personal insurance as well as various types for business. Call or email First State Insurance Advisors today. We want to be your trusted choice agency.
Get ready to board.
We're live with Steve and Igo on 94.3 The Game. Now, back to Hoist the Colors.
Welcome back in. Second segment here, Hoist the Colors. We've got a packed studio. Bobby Harward hanging out. He's brought to you by Sup Dogs today, 213 East 5th Street. You guys know the deal. Multiple-time Barstool Best Bar winner. And check out Crush Vodka as well if you're in town this weekend. They do so much for ECU athletics. They're bringing you Bobby today. We've also got the guys from Carolina Curveball hanging out, Casey Ramaley, Braxton Bodorf, and Philip Pilkington, Overliable, behind the glass doing his thing. Philip, are you producing tonight, or are you going to be there?
I'm producing.
Okay.
I promised the other guys they could go, and none of my non-sports people were available to work. But it stinks. But, hey, you know, my senior year, I was there when AMAC hit the walk-off bases clearing double. I was there a couple years ago for the pitching duel, and I've seen it.
Fair enough, for sure. Let's get into some of the matchups, guys. Tonight, we've got Ethan Norby versus Jason. Is it DeCaro or DeCaro? Or do we go back and forth?
Honestly, I don't know. I say both.
Yeah, okay.
Take your pick, I guess.
6'5", 230, stud right-hander. I noticed watching some of the Indiana tape, his fastball looks like it's ticked up a little bit. He was throwing 94, getting a lot of swings and misses, but this has a chance to be one of the better pitching matchups in the country on Friday night. We saw it last year in Durham, right? And it was really good for 5 innings or so, and then Norby kind of ran out of gas. He was the first-year starter at that point. Braxton, we'll start with you. What are you expecting tonight, Norby versus DeCaro? And can't imagine too many runs scored when they're on the mound, you would think.
Yeah, I'm expecting a pitcher's duel. I mean, I think, like you said, we got that last year in Durham with the same matchup. Last year, obviously, you had a guy in Jake Knapp that kind of took that ace role for the Heels, and, DeCaro kind of got overshadowed a little bit. He was only a sophomore. So with this kind of being his junior year, draft year for him, I kind of expected him to take that role. And he threw really well in the opening week. I think his pitch count was a little up in 5 innings, but like you said, he was getting strikeouts, a lot of swing and miss against Indiana. So I expect the same from him against these ECU hitters. But yeah, I expect Norby to have his stuff tonight as well. He's going to be up for the moment. I think kind of like how Godwin talked about last week. He didn't have his best stuff, but still gave them a chance to win. I expect both of them to have their stuff, and like you said, I think this game will be low scoring, kind of like last year in Durham.
Give us the scouting report on DeCaro for those who haven't seen him pitch. What does he like to throw? I noticed the elevated fastball a lot. Is that something he typically does, and just what kind of goes off of that?
He's, like you said, big frame. He's been that way since he was a freshman. He came in as a freshman and threw right away for them. So he's got that mid-90s fastball, good slider. He's tough for hitters to face because he's, like you said, that fastball comes from way up high, that being 6'4", 6'5", whatever he is. So. He's just got to get in the zone early and get ahead of hitters, and he'll do just fine.
Kaysen, what are you expecting Ethan Norby tonight? 3 2/3, 4 hits, 2 runs, 3 strikeouts in the opener. The home run he gave up, for those not watching, was kind of a fluky 0-2 protective swing that just kind of carried over the fence, but the guy got the barrel to it. What are you expecting from Norby tonight?
I'm going to be a lot less analytical than Braxton. I'm expecting gas, straight gas. I'm expecting just energy from him, and I think, as me and you were texting last weekend, he didn't pitch in the fall. It's going to take some time to get back used to it, and like we said, he's built for the moment. This is the biggest game of the year so far. Could argue the biggest game of the year. Looking for gas with him, and then also looking to see what Sean Jenkins does, because I think we predict he'll be the first one out of the pen, and coming off a good outing versus Campbell, expecting just a lights-out performance from them, to be honest with you. Don't know if I'm shooting for the stars there, but I think in the moment, in the environment, both of them rise to it, and really looking forward to seeing that matchup.
77 pitches in the opener, Bobby, from Norby, and so he probably goes to 85, 90 tonight. I mean, a lot of it probably depends on what the situation is, ideally. So, it's not like he's going to go a complete game. Same with DeCaro. I think he threw 90 last week. He may go a tick over that, but bullpen's going to be crucial, too, following Norby for ECU. I mean, UNC's back into the bullpen is as good as anybody in the country, in my opinion. But ECU, I think, has that capability, and we'll see how it plays out tonight, maybe.
Yeah, I'm not going to jinx y'all like I did last week with Norby, because I said there was going to be a quick game and an efficient outing, and it was the exact opposite of that. So I will not jinx y'all with this, but, it's kind of like what Philip was saying before the show. You hope that Norby can get 6 or 7, and that means he's on, and that means he's working quick. And there we go. I forgot about the whole 6-7 thing, so that's on me. But yeah, if Sean Jenkins is the first out of the pen, in an ideal situation, I'm assuming if Norby's going 6-7, it's probably a low-scoring, tight game, and you want Jenkins to try to finish the way there, and that sets you up pitching-wise for the rest of the weekend. I am concerned just against the UNC pitching. Obviously, our bats have not been great. Northern Illinois, it's hard to take a lot from that game because there's not a lot of great pitching on that side, but I am concerned from a hitter's perspective for the Pirates, and if they're able to bounce back here this weekend.
Kaysen, you're lucky you don't work here. I would have fired your butt for doing that.
What did you do, the 6-7 song?
Yeah, that's why Bobby said it.
That's why he said that, too.
Yeah, because Kaysen did it, yeah.
Saturday is scheduled to be Gavin Van Kempen versus Folger Boaz. Sunday, Colby Weber versus Ryan Lynch. All right, Braxton, I'm curious. Boaz coming off UCL, right? Surgery.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Okay, and then Lynch, I just remember him. He was erratic last year, but the stuff was elite, at least when I saw him pitch. So what type of jump has he made? And give us a word on Boaz as well.
Yeah, no, Boaz, I'll start with Boaz. Like you said, coming off that UCL injury a couple years ago, he kind of didn't take the starter role last year. He threw in some midweek games. Excuse me. But he did fine. I mean, he's going to be kind of similar to DeCaro from the left side, mid to high 90s fastball, but with Lynch, like you said, he was erratic. I remember last year at Durham, he warmed up.
Couldn't throw a strike.
And he couldn't throw a strike, and the ECU fans were all over him. He was a freshman. I was like, oh, boy, here we go. But he found his stuff, and he's kind of transitioned to a starter role now, so I expect him to go on Sunday and do a good job. But we'll see. He was erratic last week too in his start, which was interesting. But
if he throws it over the plate, man, it's tough to hit. So I am curious, and he'll be countered by Weber on ECU side, who's a true freshman, who looked good, comfortable at home against Xavier. He'll have to make the start in Chapel Hill, assuming that game is played.
Yeah.
All right, bullpen-wise, ECU at this point is clear. Jenkins is going to be a top guy. They want Joe Webb to be a top guy. We've seen some flashes from some of the lefties. I don't know if we've seen a consistent guy that you're going to thrust out there in a must-get-a-lefty situation out. On UNC side, we know, obviously, our guy Walker McDuffie, he's probably got the best slider I've seen. Yeah. It's nasty. Mateus, Greenville guy, he's back from injury. How has he looked through 2 outings, Braxton?
He's looked good. McDuffie as well. They're going to be the high-leverage guys in this series big time. I think McDuffie will be first out of the pen. I think Mateus you'll definitely see either today or tomorrow as well. Both of them pitched in the midweek as well because Carolina also had 2 midweek games against Richmond and Longwood, and both of them saw action. So I just think it depends on which way Forbes wants to go, depending on the game situation. But like you said, Mateus, the Greenville native, he might give him the nod, but McDuffie did have success against this lineup last year. So, if it's lefty, obviously you got Boaz going tomorrow, so you may see a guy like Percival, who is also midweek starter starting this year off, but we'll see.
Should be interesting to see how it unfolds. All right, Kaysen, from an ECU lineup perspective, who are you looking to have? Who needs to have a good series from the position player standpoint for ECU to win this series?
I think we've said it year in and year out every year, and you've talked about it. I think I'm still waiting the return of the arrival of Colby Wallace. I think he just needs to step up. He has the power. He has double-digit home run power. He needs to perform tonight, this weekend. And I also think in the outfield, Herring's been good, Whitaker's been good, as well as Grady Linehan, the freshman. I think they need to they've not been hitting the ball great, but when they do, it hasn't been timely, and I just think they need to just string hits together. And I'm going to say it again, Colby Wallace and Walker Barron, I think is going to have a big at-bat this weekend. I don't know which game it will be because he will definitely not start all 3. Like I predicted a couple weeks ago, I said he would not start all the games, and which is shocking. Kalinic has not looked great, but the opportunity is there for either of them to succeed.
Kaysen, do you like Whitaker in a pinch hit role, or do you think that he's done enough to find his way into the lineup as an everyday starter?
I will say that's a tough question. I would like to see Sabater back out there. He just played in game 1 and got on base 3 times, if I'm not mistaken, Steven. And he hasn't yet to come back out. So I'm going to say right now he has earned it until he's proven to lose it. But I would like to see Sabater back out there at some point.
I will say this about Whitaker. First off, he's had two great games in a row, at least in terms of an at-bat against Campbell. That was tough. But I worry about his swing against high-level pitching. Maybe this is because of how he looked against UNC last year in Durham and an at-bat where he just looked overmatched. But he does kind of have a long swing. He's got some juice if he gets the barrel to it, but we'll see if he gets a start. I would imagine with the 2 games he's had, he starts this one, especially with a righty pitcher in Takero, but I don't know. We'll see how he looks against some top-level pitching. Bobby, look, at the end of the day, I'm expecting this to be lower scoring, tight series, which concerns me given ECU's defense. I don't really know what the deal is with Matt Lashley still out at shortstop. Wallace started their last game. Then they ended up putting in Parham late game. He turned a crucial double play, but it still seems like they're unclear which direction they want to go at shortstop, which gives you concern in a series like this.
100% concerning, and no doubt about it. That's the most important defensive position, arguably, on the field. But I do expect them to go back to the same lineup we saw on Wednesday. That would be my expectation. That also, keeps Whitaker in left field, and that keeps him in the lineup. Because as you guys were talking about him, and Kaysen mentioned it at the very beginning of the show, somebody's going to get a big hit early. Davin Whitaker is my guy to get the big hit early. So that's who I think is going to come through. But I am expecting them to go back to Wallace and probably bring Parham in late again as a defensive replacement if the Pirates are ahead.
All right, Braxton, final word from you on Carolina. We've talked a lot about their pitching. I think Gavin Gallagher was their only returning position player that started a bunch of games last year, but they have hit well for the most part through 5 games, 891 OPS, 278 average, 4 home runs. What have you seen? Who are some of the guys making waves there early in the season in the position?
Yeah,
player?
I like what they've got going on offensively. I know that there's been a little bit of struggle in some games, but you mentioned Gallagher. I remember him a couple years ago, kind of his coming out moment. He had a pinch hit here as a freshman, hit a home run in this series. So he's kind of been that guy for them, especially in regional ball. I mean, they called him Mr. June. Like I think he's hitting over 500 in regionals. He's just a big game player. He's a local kid as well, kind of from the Apex area, but I'm expecting him to lead the team as the only returner. I'm looking for Owen Hull to kind of get hot. Schaffner, the leadoff's been really, really solid, and on defense as well at shortstop. Kind of what ECU's missing, a defensive first shortstop. He's been getting on base, hitting extra base hits as well at the plate. But yeah, I think 1 through 9, Forbes is going to run guys out there he trusts, and I think they're going to be just fine offensively. I'm looking to see if they kind of maybe play a little bit of ECU game and play some small ball in this series as well. I think could be huge.
All right, let's go around the horn. Who's ready to make some predictions on how this series plays out? Who wants to go first? Anybody? Casey?
I'll go.
Braxton? All right, let's hear it, Braxton.
I think so. Initially, I thought ECU was going to win the series, and then the last week happened, and I kind of flipped on it. So I think I'm going to go UNC to win 2-1. I think ECU's either going to get the game tonight or tomorrow in Durham, and then I think Carolina will just be too much on Sunday to win the series.
Fair take for sure. Casey, what you got?
I'm going to say ECU drops one tonight, and people are going to lose faith. Season's over.
Casey's always got some crazy predictions.
Season's over, but tomorrow GVK is going to throw a gem like I predicted last week, but he did pretty good, so
he pitched
it's okay.
well.
He pitched well.
Defense let him down.
So we're going to win on Saturday, so it's going to be 1-1, and then going into Chapel Hill, Weber's going to have his legacy moment, and we win the series.
So you got the Pirates dropping the home game, winning on the road in neutral. Bobby, you want to go?
Yeah, going into the week, I thought a 2-3 week was kind of my expectation. If we go 1-2 this weekend, that will be the case. Unfortunately, I'm going to be pessimistic. I think we go 0-3 here. I think the Tar Heels sweep us. I am very just not high on our hitting right now, our bats, and that's what concerns me. And that really, between the bats not performing, between the defensive question marks, like that just puts so much on your arms, and they're not going to be elite every outing. Like they're going to have off nights, and you hope that doesn't happen this weekend, but that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I mean, if ECU plays how it has played through the first 5 games, that's the most likely outcome. Philip, what's your take?
I think what Bobby's saying is not out of the realm of possibility. I kind of lean in that way, but I do think, even though it was against Northern Illinois, I think it built some confidence in these bats. The errors still worry me, and I think if they do go 0-3, it'll be because of errors, but CG's going to get them up, and he's going to have them ready, and I do think they find a way to win one. I'm with Braxton on this. It's either tonight or tomorrow. I think by Sunday it'll be all Carolina, but I think tonight's the big opportunity. There's a lot of pressure on them to win tonight, but if we can go Norby if Norby can keep that pitch count low and we can get 7 out of Norby, 2 out of Jenkins, I feel like that's the path to a victory. I think they find a way to win one.
I've got 1-2 as well. ECU, I predicted on Monday's podcast they would win the first one and lose the next 2. I do think there is some pressure on ECU to win tonight, which is why, going back to our early conversation, ideally you get off to a good start at home, and that gets the crowd into the game instead of feeling that angst, because it can work against you as well, starting off a series like this at home. But look, at the end of the day, I'm going to trust Norby in a big game to bounce back and give his team a shot, and then it's just going to come down to can ECU or UNC get the key hit, who's going to play the clean defense. Now, through 5 games, that would lead you to take UNC, but at some point it's baseball. It's got to flip, you would think. I think ECU gets it done tonight, but I like Carolina overall. They're playing better. They just have a little bit more trustworthy aspects of the game right now for me going into a series like this. So there you go. Kaysen's the only guy who's got the power to win the series.
No one has a Pirate sweep?
No shot.
Are you going to change the sweep?
No, I'm not changing, but I was just asking to be sure.
I'm sure Kenny Curlins is out there somewhere picking ECU to sweep. He's always our – well, we have Matt ECU4 in the comments. He says sweep. Don't know if that's for Carolina or ECU. Let us know, Matt. Kenny Curlins, he always predicts ECU to dominate every sport, so I'm sure he's predicting sweep as well. Pirate sweep, says Matt. There's your official sweep prediction. All right, let's get a break in. We'll come back. We'll take a look at some of the other baseball around the Carolinas. Huge news, guys, out of Coastal Carolina. Unfortunate injury news. We'll get to that series coming up for ECU in a few weeks. We'll discuss that and more. This is Hoist the Colors.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human, about creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
You have a choice when you invest in insurance, and when you choose First State Insurance Advisors, you're working with people you can trust. Clark Stallings has deep ties in the community. His team, including Keaton Smith, Regina Asby, Phil Leyva, Max Joyner Jr., Max Joyner III, and Ginger Smith, provides knowledgeable and professional advice. First State Insurance Advisors is an independent insurance agency. They offer all types of personal insurance as well as various types for business. Call or email First State Insurance Advisors today. We want to be your trusted choice agency.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you Farm to Fork Beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes, just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to Fork Beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown. At National Finance, we're all about hometown support, just like ECU football. National Finance helps us win on and off the field. They've got your back when you need it most. Fast, easy personal loans for life's big plays. And just like us, they're committed to Eastern North Carolina. National Finance, proud supporters of ECU athletics. Visit nfcmoney.com for loans as fast as today.
Make every day electric on the Kawasaki Electro 20 electric balance bike. Maximize the fun with long run times, impressive top speed, and Kawasaki build quality. Easy adjustability and smooth handling make everyday riding more enjoyable. And the standard MTB type tires provide off-pavement capability. The Kawasaki Electro 20 is the electric balance bike that's built to rip. Go to Ron Ayers Motorsports, Memorial Drive north of the airport, Greenville.
On 94.3 The Game.
Welcome back in. Hoist the Colors, third segment here. And we're talking a lot of college baseball today. We got Bobby Harward hanging out. We got our guys from Carolina Curveball in town for the series opener. ECU North Carolina, Braxton Bodorf and Kaysen Ramaley, Philip Pilkinen producing. What's the latest on Canada, Finland, Philip, and the Olympics?
Yeah, Finnish are up 2-1 right now, 12-22 and counting to play in the third period. So this would be huge. Obviously, Canada comes in as the gold medal favorite with all the NHL guys being allowed to play this time. Finland did win the last gold medal, and some of these guys were on that team last time, but it was all a bunch of youth guys, college guys, because the NHL didn't take the time off. So these guys have the experience, but Canada, they've got guys named McDavid and McKinnon and insert anybody else you can name here. So we'll see what happens.
Is it going to end up being a Finland-Slovakia final gold medal?
Oh, my goodness. If we have to play them in the bronze medal, that would stink. I
it would
feel
still
good
be
about
kind of electric, though.
It would be, but I feel good. I think we can knock off Slovakia today. They're not a bad team by any means. I will tell you, if Czechoslovakia was a country like it used to be, and you had the top two lines of the Czech team and the top two lines of the Slovakian team, that would be a dangerous third best team. They'd be really good. The tough thing is Slovakia as well as Czech just doesn't really have the depth that Canada and the U.S. have, even though they do have the top line guys.
We'll see if Canada can come back like they did in the last round and tie it and then eventually win it. That in the semifinals of the Olympics. All right, college baseball. We talked a lot of ECU, North Carolina. Big news out of Coastal, gentlemen. Dominic Carbone, who's probably, arguably, the best left-handed reliever in college baseball, is going to be out for the year due to UCL injury. And also Cameron Flukie, who arguably is the top starting pitcher in college baseball, has, a rib injury?
Yes.
Or something, Kaysen. So this is huge news, and obviously, you don't want to wish injury on anybody, and so we're hoping those guys, especially Flukie, gets back, because you always want the players to be at their best. But a concern I had about Coastal was they went so deep into the season, obviously making it to the national championship series. You finished runner-up, but those guys, they're throwing a lot of high-stress, high-volume innings, and certainly in Carbone's case with the arm injury, Fluky a little bit different with the rib injury, but this was a concern of mine and unfortunately kind of biting him early.
Yeah, and they also have injury to Hayden Johnson, who is another piece of that staff. He's down right now. Don't know when he's going to come back, but the one to Carbone is absolutely brutal. I mean, you said it, one of the best relievers in the country. ECU faced him in the championship, right, in the final. I'm pretty sure they faced him in the final because the first one was out of hand, and ECU, I don't let me think, maybe even got a foul ball off him. He was unreal, lights out. Preseason first-team All-American, and then on Fluky out with a rib strain. I think that's what Matt Williams and Kevin Schnall said, but really curious to see what his timeline is because ECU does play them in the next couple of weeks, so you don't know if he's going to be back for then, if they're targeting that or what, but they have some competition this week, so their little battle at the beach, so curious of how they go. They play 4 games this weekend, which is not great timing for them. They have their first 2 starters out, and then the last 2 are to be determined, so they really have to figure it out on the fly, and kind of, like you said, when you go that late in the season, it really does kind of affect the body. It affects college pitchers. So I honestly feel bad for them because you go to the national championship, you have all these expectations going into this year, preseason number 6 in the country, expect to be right back at it, and then 4 of your top guys go down at the beginning of the year. Just absolutely brutal blow down there in Conway.
They swept Fairfield in the opening series and then lost to College of Charleston in midweek action. Like you said, taking on VCU Illinois this weekend in the baseball at the beach tournament. And then they have to go, guys, to the Houston Astros Stadium for a bout with Texas, UTSA, Ole Miss. Then they play NC State, and then they play ECU. So it's going to get tough early for Coastal. Braxton, your take on this news and anything else early on around the Carolinas stand out to you from a baseball perspective?
I think Coastal's going to be fine. I'm a little worried about the health, but I think they have enough guys in that bullpen, a lot of young guys that have really kind of stepped up already. And I think that, Schnall's going to throw out those young guys, and they're going to be fine in terms of pitching. I am a little bit worried about their offense and defense. Their left fielder kind of had a couple errors in their loss the other night. I think they kind of did not replace the defense very well. I think that's a key for them, but I think they will be in a regional still. Host maybe, I don't want to overreact this early in the year and say, they're not going to host, but the health is a worry for sure. I mean, you got to get Fluky healthy. He's your dog. So we'll see, but I think they're going to be just fine.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking during the break. With Fluky, it's just you're probably tempted to rush him back to a degree with the injuries they've had, but you just want that guy healthy in the postseason because then you can beat anybody at that point. We always talk about small sample size. I'll get your take on this, Bobby. We're both big MLB guys. You have 162 games. You don't really need to overreact. But in college, 56-game regular season. But we're 5 games in. We'll be 8 games by the end of this weekend. I always struggle finding the balance of, you don't want to just overreact to one guy having a bad series or bad outing. But there is kind of a different dynamic with a shortened season, but it's still at the same time longer than any other college season in terms of games.
Yeah, I think the tough thing with that, and in Coastal situation, even more so with ECU, just because the American Conference is probably below the Sun Belt in baseball. If you're not in the ACC or the SEC and you don't have those series in conference to make up and gain ground back, that's when it becomes an issue. Because if we were in one of those ACC or SEC conferences, those big conferences, and you start slow out the gate, you have a chance to make it up with those later series, and that's the concerning part. I think, for me and from an ECU perspective, a win for me this weekend is, going 1-2 at minimum, but looking respectable in those 2 losses and keeping it tight. And hopefully that shows up in the committee's eyes as those decisions come down the line. But to me, that's the biggest issue, is just the conference as a whole being so down. That's really what puts the Pirates in a bind.
All right, yeah. I mean, in many ways, the series from a need to win it perspective is much greater on ECU's side than Carolina because, as you mentioned, they get basically a series of this caliber every weekend almost once ACC play start, whereas ECU gets Coastal, maybe UTSA if they can repeat some of what they did last year, and then outside of that, you're not really playing much NCAA tournament teams, especially after losing to Xavier already. Any other big series around the Carolinas this weekend, guys?
Wright State Charlotte is a big one. That's two kind of regional bubble-ish, wannabe teams. I would say that College of Charleston and South Alabama is a good one, and then Elon at Charleston Southern, two Carolina programs going at it down in Charleston. So I would say those.
ECU will get Charleston next Tuesday in Fayetteville. Yes. How are they looking early this season?
Charleston, so they just beat Coastal last week, like I think you mentioned. They lost in a 4-game series 3-1 to Rutgers, which was interesting, a Big Ten program. So kind of not a great start, but then you bounce back and beat Coastal, and you can kind of take that and run with it. And now they play a Sun Belt competition in South Alabama, so real interested to see how they do with Coach Holbrook down there.
And I did misspeak. Philip pointed out Wednesday, College of Charleston in Sacred Stadium, 94-3 the game, because, apparently these minor league teams can't do TV. What is the deal with that? Like,
it's crazy.
Is it just a lack of want to? I don't know. ECU, by the way, will play Rutgers in the LeClaire Classic as well, so you got some crossover there in a couple weeks. Troy, which is a potential bubble team.
Yeah, Troy's not as good as they were last year, correct? Like, they're solid, but they're not – because last year they were preseason number 24, I think. Is that correct, guys?
They were preseason ranked, I believe, yes. And Troy Campbell this weekend as well?
Yes, correct, yes.
So that'll be a big game. So Carolina Curveball, y'all plug some of y'all's work here. Obviously, you've been doing a great job over the last few years, and y'all do. Not only do you cover ECU North Carolina, y'all are covering all the teams and getting interaction from head coaches now as well, right?
Correct, yeah. We're getting interactions from head coaches that have a hard time reading graphics sometimes. We had a head coach message us and say, hey, why is my guy not on the graphic? And Braxton responded, thanks for reaching out, but he's on there. So that's a good, funny story. But you can find us at Carolina Curve BB on X, Twitter, Instagram. Listen to our show on Spotify or YouTube. We stream our show on our X and YouTube Thursdays at 9 and Mondays at 9. And our weekly power rankings that are pretty coveted, I'd say. They get our most engagement, Steven says, come out Monday at 12.
15,000 views this past week.
Yeah, they come out every Monday at noon, so be on the lookout for those. We also have weekly honor roll and our player and pitcher of the week coming out every Monday. We highlight probably 15 to 20 guys that had really good weekends and weeks. So be sure to check us out there. And once again, be sure to look us up on TikTok too. We're kind of we're kind of getting.
We're gonna get Steven in TikTok today.
Oh,
yes,
gosh.
yes. we're gonna try to get Steven in a TikTok today. We're gonna see how that goes. But once again, I want to say we would not be here without you, Steven, Philip. Steven helped us get credentials, our first credentials this weekend. So really looking forward to that. And thank you for having us. It's been a phenomenal ride this 3 years, and was a phenomenal ride with you before I even started Curveball.
Absolutely, man. One of the best interns, if not the best. I don't want to inflate your ego too much, but really good, hard-working man, Casey Ramaley, doing a good job. And
the other guy who's in competition for that didn't show up.
Yeah.
He said he was going to, and then he didn't show up. So
Hey, don't sleep on Brady Thomas either.
That's
now.
True.
Brady Thomas is covering ECU Charlotte. He may be the most valuable former intern getting that done. And I'm just looking at these power rankings, guys. I know we got to get a break in here in a minute, but I can see it now. ECU's at 7, Carolina's at 2. When the Pirates win the series this weekend, what the reaction is going to be? Because even if ECU somehow wins the series, you could make a case Carolina should still be ahead of them, and obviously you can make the case ECU. So I'm prepping y'all. You're all ready to have that conversation?
I've already thought about it.
Yeah, it's coming. So check it out, Carolina Curve BB on Twitter, and give these guys a follow. They do great work for sure, and check out their podcast as well throughout the week. We'll get our final break in. We'll come back. We will wrap up the show after this.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt & Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro-adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt & Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Daughtridge Gas and Oil has been your dependable propane supplier for 95 years. Their trained technicians can service and properly install all your propane and natural gas appliances. Plus, Daughtridge Gas and Oil is your backyard expert with fire pits, grills, smokers, and more, including quality outdoor furniture at their Greenville Patio and Hearth Shop at 1901 Charles Boulevard. Go by and see the knowledgeable staff at Daughtridge Gas and Oil for propane delivery or call 756-1345.
Other restaurants claim their food is fresh and fast, but are they friendly? At Moore's, you're treated like family the minute you walk into their doors. With locations in Winterville, New Bern, Swansboro, Morehead City, and Jacksonville. We've been practicing what we preach since 1945. At Moore's, our barbecue is slow cooked and smoked over real wood daily until it's so tender it's falling off the bone. Combined with our fresh chicken, cooked to order seafood, and homemade fixins, we're sure you'll agree. If it's not Moore's, it's less.
Your confidence makes everything look good. You see the world in vivid color, not black and white. Swing through your neighborhood Fantastic Sam's Cut in Color and let our experienced stylists take you from everyday to extraordinary.
Fantastic Sam's hair salons are locally owned and operated. Our full-service salons are conveniently located in Goldsboro, Kinston, Greenville, New Bern, Jacksonville, and Calabash. Stop in today at Fantastic Sam's, where the possibilities are endless.
You have a choice when you invest in insurance, and when you choose First State Insurance Advisors, you're working with people you can trust. Clark Stallings has deep ties in the community. His team, including Keaton Smith, Regina Asby, Phil Leyva, Max Joyner Jr., Max Joyner III, and Ginger Smith, provides knowledgeable and professional advice. First State Insurance Advisors is an independent insurance agency. They offer all types of personal insurance as well as various types for business. Call or email First State Insurance Advisors today. We want
loyal and bold, we're the purple and golds.
Yo ho ho!
And we're back to hoist the colors with Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game.
All right, we got a few minutes left. Hoist the colors. Bobby Harward hanging out. Carolina Curveballs, Casey O'Malley, and Braxton Bodorf in studio as well. Philip Hilgen watching some hockey. Canada and Finland tied at 2-2 with 6 minutes to go. U.S. playing later today. All right, guys, I go to MLB.com, and there's spring training action on the way starting today, so that's exciting. Casey, did you ever pick a favorite MLB team? What's the latest on that, man?
I did. I picked the Reds, then I got bored of the Reds. But now I think I might have picked up the Blue Jays just for Trey. Because I did follow that team very, very close his time here. So I was cheering for them the entire way. So I'll say I'm a fair weather Blue Jays fan for sure.
I have a qualm with that.
He's an Orioles fan.
No,
so.
I don't have
okay.
That's not my qualm. The fact they're in Canada is my qualm.
Yeah, that's
agree.
Yes. Yeah.
You can't be the Canadian.
It's tough. I mean,
like
you
the
know.
Braves, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
With Trey, you have a legitimate, and I guess Hoffman's still there as well. So I mean, you got two Pirates on the team, but they are from Canada.
Where's Norby nowadays?
Norby's with the Marlins.
Marlins.
He's competing for the third base job. Are the Braves? The Braves are still getting some love from you look at FanGraphs odds. They're one of the top teams in the NL. But I'm like, it's been this way for 2 years, and they haven't put it all together.
Yeah, I think you just need your stud Acuna back fully healthy. Obviously, he's an MVP level player when he's healthy, and then if you can build around him, with Albies and that pitching staff, Strider, you need healthy, Sale. So we'll see. I've always hoped Raleigh got a team because then that would just become my team, but I don't know where that's at.
Braves, according to FanGraphs, a 9.6% chance to win the World Series, which is second in the NL behind the Dodgers, who are at 26%.
See, to me, the Braves pitching staff has too many question marks to be the second favorite in the NL.
The Orioles have a 3.7% chance to win the World Series, which is
you're saying
fairly
there's a chance.
You want to know who's number one in the AL?
Yankees?
Seattle Mariners.
Wow.
8.7% chance. A lot of this is based on weaker division, easier chance to make the playoffs.
God, it hasn't been often we've said the AL West is a weaker division.
Yeah, Astros are down, expect to be down. Red Sox for Phillip, 4.7% chance to win the World Series.
I'll take it. Hey, man, if they can hit the ball, they'll be okay. They've got the staff. I can tell you that. I don't know if they got the bullpen, but they got the starters. They got like 10 starters on their roster.
Took Ranger Suarez right out of the Orioles' arms.
Yep.
They did. Well, gentlemen, we are about out of time. This has been a blast, and we'll have to do it again. Y'all down to come back? Oh, yeah, for sure. We are definitely down to come back for sure. Hopefully there is a regional here maybe, so maybe we can have a little something special. But, yeah, looking forward to the game, looking forward to seeing y'all out there, and, yeah, let's have a day, boys. The Pirates want to get a regional here. They need to start this weekend with some wins. Braxton, appreciate you, man. This was fun. Bobby, good stuff as always on this Friday. Appreciate you sharing the studio the past few weeks, you know.
Oh,
we know you're the star, but, you know.
No, not the star. I'm just happy to still get an invite.
We appreciate you as always. And Phillip, thank you, my good friend.
Marca.
Go USA.
Stop casing.
We will be back Monday, 12 noon, to break it all down. We'll talk to you then on HTC.
This has been Hoist the Colors with your host, Stephen Igo. Get a recap